Hi, welcome back to Another Year Bolder. My name is Jamie. I'm on a 100+ pound weight loss journey, and I'm currently just wrapped up week 10 and I'm moving on to week 11 now. I originally lost 16 pounds in total. However, I'm going to go over the results this week, which have definitely changed things quite a bit. Um, I am working on eating better, living better, just eating healthier in general. I'm following a diet-free life with Robert Ferguson. It's just about portioning out your meals and how you eat the meals combined together. So for my meals on the breakfast and lunch, it's supposed to be, keep this in mind, a protein, a slow carb, and a fast carb, or a half of a fast carb. So that's breakfast and lunch. And then dinner is supposed to be a protein and 2 slow carbs. And then my snack is got to be between 100 and 200 calories. Now, I can tell you over the last couple of weeks, I haven't followed it to the T. I've done my best with it, and I can tell you week 10, I definitely did not follow it, which is why I have, if you've noticed in the thumbnail, I've gained 3 pounds, and there's a lot that took place week 10. There's a lot that went into that 3 pound weight gain, and I can tell you week 11 isn't starting out very well either. Currently, right now, it's Tuesday, October 14th, and I did weigh myself on Saturday, I think, which was what, the 12th maybe? No, Saturday I weighed myself on the 11th. So that's where I got all of my results. I'll go ahead and go over where I started, and I'll let you know where I am now, and then I'll tell you what took place. I originally started my weight loss journey on August 2nd. I started with my glucose at 140. My weight was 314. My BMI was 62. And my waist inches were 53 inches. That's the only thing that my weight loss coach looks for every Saturday. I weigh myself once a week, and it's every Saturday because I originally weighed myself on a Saturday. So I just keep it going because your weight's going to fluctuate day to day. So it's better to get a 1 week look. All right, so that was August 2nd when I started. Whenever I reweighed myself this past Saturday, which was October 11th, my glucose was 121, which made a difference of 19 points. My weight jumped back up to 301. I had gotten down to 298, but now I went back to 301, which is a difference of 13 pounds versus the 16 pounds I had lost before. Still happy about the 13 pounds. And I know what exactly happened week 10, and I'll go over all that. My BMI is 59, so it's a total of 3 points down in total. My waist is 53 inches, so I did not gain any weight back there. I've lost a total of 2 inches in my waist. Just so wherever I gained the weight, it was not in my waist. I don't know where it is, but I'll go over all that. I'm going to tell you what happened week 10, because week 10 was definitely a roller coaster ride for me and my husband and my dogs. It was kind of chaotic, which is what caused the weight gain. And, I'm trying to start over week 11, but I can tell you week 11 has proven to be a struggle as well. And so I'm not looking for great results at the end of week 11. I am trying to do better. I'm hoping I just don't gain week 11. But let's go over it, and I'll tell you everything that took place. Okay, so for week 10, it started on October 4th and ended on October 10th. That was my week 10 dates. On Monday, October 6th, I got a call from my husband's job letting me know that he had been in an accident at work and he was being rushed to the hospital. He is okay, thankfully. However, there were some injuries, and this is where everything kind of got chaotic and tossed in the wind, and just whatever happened this week. So on Monday when I got the call, I don't think I had breakfast at all Monday because I just rushed to the hospital. I can't really remember what I ate Monday. But I know I skipped a meal on Monday, at least one. I went to, he's a delivery driver, so he had our car in one spot and he was in a different spot. He wasn't in our car when he had the accident. We do share one vehicle. So I had to get an Uber. I got an Uber and I went to his job. I picked up the car and then I went to the hospital that they took him to because they did send me the address where he was. When I got there, it turns out that he has a fractured / broken knee. He's going to be on crutches for the next 4 to 8 weeks, and he had some contusions on his hands that, he was very banged up and bruised. Luckily, it wasn't sprained, but, so those were some pains and things that he had. But his knee was super swollen and he was in an extreme amount of pain. Luckily, he caught himself from hitting his face because he said he was going face forward into the ground. And whenever he tripped on the item, I can't give you all the details, But he was going face forward into the concrete driveway, and he ended up catching himself with his hands in his left knee, and then that's what fractured his knee, is because he hit his knee on the concrete very hard. So my husband does a lot around the house. He helps me out with the majority of the responsibilities because I have bad back, bad knees, my hands, I have issues with my hands with carpal tunnel and trigger thumb and everything else, and also I have tennis elbow. So he helps me out a lot around the house. What he does is he takes care of the dogs, he feeds them, he walks them. They have to be walked 4 to 5 times a day. They're medium-sized dogs. They are not little. They're not huge, but they're definitely not little. He also does the dishes, he vacuums, he mops, he sweeps, he cleans the bathtub. Anything that I struggle with because of my back and my knees, he does for me. Not for me, but he does as his own responsibility. Let me rephrase that. So when he does all this, it takes a lot off of me. I focus on the laundry. I usually keep the kitchen clean. He does the dishes. I clean the bathroom. He cleans the tub, and things like that. And then we keep the bedroom clean, and then he vacuums and does all that in the bedroom. So with him hurt, it has put everything on me because his doctor doesn't want him standing more than 5 to 10 minutes at a time max. He cannot bend over. And he's on crutches. So what this means is 98% of everything is on me. He does do what he can without, hurting himself more. So he'll stand up and he'll wipe the dishes off, but he doesn't put them in the dishwasher because he can't bend down. And then to get in and out of the bathtub, I have to help him because he has to keep his knees straight. He's not allowed to bend it at all. And with that happening, on Monday, I had an appointment Thursday because I had been having problems with my tailbone. Back on Labor Day, and I did a video about this a while back. If I can remember, I'll link it or I'll attach it at the end. Labor Day, I had an accident where I fell twice on a slippery road. It was raining outside. I was walking across the crosswalk. It was very, very slippery. I had horrible shoes on. I slipped and fell, landed on my butt, hit my knee, hit my hands. I stood up. A gentleman came and helped me. I stood up, and when I went to take another step, because I had the worst shoes on possible, I fell again. And both times I hit my tailbone pretty hard. So Thursday I went to the doctor because it just wasn't getting any better. I was having a hard time sitting in my office chair because I work remotely from home. I was having a hard time sitting in the bathtub. It was just uncomfortable. Unless I'm sitting on my bed, it's just uncomfortable no matter where I sit. So in the doctor's visit for me, that was Thursday, I found out that I have a broken tailbone, and like your tailbone is supposed to go straight down, mine goes straight down and it turns, and then there's a chip of it missing. So there's a part of my tailbone that's missing, and it all happened during the accident. I had some x-rays done, I want to say it was back in 2020 or 2022. I can't remember what year it was. I believe he said 2020, where I had my back injury, and he showed me the x-ray from that back injury versus now with my tailbone, and you can see that my tailbone was completely straight like it was supposed to be, and now it's completely bent the wrong direction and chipped. So between my hurt knees, my tailbone, my hurt back, my hands, I'm taking on all of this, and I'm doing my very best with it, but it hasn't been easy. And usually by the end of the day, I'm hurting, I'm in a lot of pain, and I'm exhausted. And my poor husband, he feels awful, and this is not his fault. It was an accident. He didn't plan this by any means. He didn't want this to happen. So it's just been a little bit of struggle. We've had a lot of doctor's visits for him, and we're going to continue to have a lot of doctor's visits for him. He's going to physical therapy. They're trying to make sure he doesn't have to have surgery, and if he does have to have surgery, they want to make sure he's ready and he's prepared for that. His job is really amazing. They're doing a great job of taking care of him. They're providing transportation to and from doctor's appointments if we need it. But I do like to go with him because I like to hear, what he needs to do. And sometimes he doesn't always remember, or he doesn't always understand everything the doctors say, because sometimes they speak a little fast. Either way, sometimes they're hard for me to understand, but I like to go with him so I can make sure that we know what he's supposed to be doing. I know he knows. That way we're all on the same page and we can get that done. So between the doctor's visits, me having to take on everything because unfortunately he just can't do it right now, I have been extremely stressed, and I have been working on that. I have not been doing a good job with it at all. But usually at the end of the day, I'm exhausted. I don't usually, the second I wake up in the morning, because I have to bring him to and from work. He is still working. He's on light duty at his job. I can't go into any details about that. But he is on light duty, so I have to take him to and from his job because he can't drive, and his job is a decent ways away. Um, so we wake up early in the morning around 5:30, and that is early for us. Might not be early for you, and then we have to leave by 6:30 to make sure he gets there at 8. So once I get him there, I get him all set up where he needs to be set up, you know, bring his lunchbox, his drink, whatever he needs for the day. Get him all set up, and then I leave and I come back home, and then I take care of the dogs, and then I start, you know, doing everything around the apartment that needs to be done. And then usually by the time I'm done with all of that, it's time to go back and pick him up. So then I leave and I go back and pick him up. And I'm just giving you what my day-to-day is on the days that he works. So I go back and I pick him up and I bring him home. And then when I bring him home, again, I have to take care of the dogs. I help him take a bath, and then I make sure that he has something to eat and he's all settled for the night. By the time that this is over, remember I get up about 5:30, it's around 8:30 at night. So I sit down and I eat dinner, and then I usually crash shortly after. And we have an older dog who has some medical issues and problems, and she has to be walked more frequently than our younger dog. So I usually walk her around 11 p.m. or midnight, so she doesn't have any accidents during the middle of the night. So I usually crash around 8:30 or 9 after I've eaten, and then I have an alarm set to wake up between 11 and 12 so that I remember to go and walk her so she doesn't have any accidents. And then I go to bed, and then it starts all over again. Luckily, this only happens 3 days a week. But then the rest of the time during the week, I have my own stuff because up until Friday, I was working a client. I had a contract with the client working remotely. I felt like I wasn't doing a good enough job with that client, and then it just wasn't for me, and sometimes that happens. So we discussed it, and I decided on Friday to let that client go because it just wasn't working out. I had already applied at several other places, and I got contacted that same day for another company, and I'm already scheduled and signed up to start with them. I believe I'm supposed to start this coming Monday. They're going to give me the exact date as soon as all of my paperwork is pushed through. Oops, sorry, I'm shaking the camera. As soon as all my paperwork is pushed through, they're going to give me the exact date that I start. I will still be working remotely at home, so that's a good thing. I can work my schedule usually around whatever his appointments are, but thankfully he's offered free transportation to and from. So if I have to work on a day that he has one of his appointments, he's going to take the transportation. Now, with that said, I mentioned our senior dog earlier, has a lot of health issues. She has something else going on right now, so we have to bring her to the vet this Thursday. Find out what's going on, and then kind of go from there. So things have been hectic, needless to say, between week 10 and now going into week 11. And I'm sorry if you hear that noise. Somebody is sawing outside, so if you hear that, I apologize. I can't stop that noise. We have construction going on across the street as well, so it's a little bit loud outside. But anyway, I'm not making any excuses. I just unfortunately haven't had the time to eat all 3 of my meals. I haven't had the time to eat my snacks, and if I've had the time for it, I've been too exhausted to make it, and I just skip it. So you're going to see that there was a lot of meals or a lot of snacks skipped throughout week 10, and I've even already skipped a few week 11, which is why I'm not expecting good results week 11. I'm hoping by the end of this week 11, which is what I'm in, that I'll have more of a handle on my new routines and my new schedules, at least for the next couple of months, and I'll be able to do much better and then continue on with my weight loss, which is my ultimate goal: to lose weight, to get fit. I want to be able to move around better, especially with all these aches and pains that I have. If you're wondering why I do have these aches and pains, it's because I had 2 really bad car accidents when I was younger. One, I was hit by a drunk driver, and that damaged my back severely. The second one I had when I was older, and it was a gentleman who ran a red light, and he hit me head on, he totaled the car, and that damaged my knees and my ankles. Now, as far as my hand goes, I've always worked in an office, and not always, but sorry if you heard that, my husband's calling. 90% of the time I've worked in an office, and I have carpal tunnel, and then, which hurts right here and right here. And then, you know, now that you're scrolling on your phone so much, I have, what is it called? Trigger thumb in both of my thumbs. And it's very painful if you've never had it. I have had 2 shots in both of my thumbs. and that's the max I can have. So now I need to have the surgery, which I was planning on scheduling until my husband got hurt. Now that he's hurt, I don't know how long the recovery is. I'm told it would be 1 to 3 days for the recovery for my hands, but I just can't afford to not be able to use my hands for 1 to 3 days while he's in the condition that he's in. So I'm pushing my surgery back on my hands, but as soon as he's able to move around more and can do more things on his own, I'm going to schedule those surgeries because they are very painful. And then I have the tennis elbow that starts here and it shoots all the way up. It starts here, shoots all the way up, and it stops right about here. And it doesn't happen all the time, but it happens off and on, and it's very, very painful. So, yeah, that's where I am. I sound like a walking balloon, and I know my husband probably does too, but, you know, we're going to get along. We're going to get through this. We're definitely going to get through this. It's just going to take some time and some patience, which we don't have much patience with one another, but we're trying to do our best. We're just not patient people, unfortunately. We are with other people. I don't know why we aren't with one another. Maybe it's because we've been together for so long. I don't know. But either way, we're trying to do our very best because it is a frustrating situation, and it does get frustrating at certain times. And when I had my back where I was in bed rest for several weeks and he took care of me, you know, he did such a great job and he really took care of me, but we did have frustrating moments, and now I'm returning the favor to him, taking care of him now that he's injured. So I kind of get a glimpse of seeing what it was like for him when he had to do everything for me because I couldn't do anything. And now I'm doing, sorry, and now I'm doing everything for him that I possibly can. So it's a lot to take in. It's a big change. It's a lot to get used to. It's a lot to navigate through. But I am hoping for better outcome coming forward, and I'm really praying that everything goes well with his knee. His knee heals very quickly and that he can get moving again, because I know he's frustrated that he can't do a lot of things for himself. He can't even bring a drink over to the table because he's got crutches and he just doesn't have a way to carry it. And he's frustrated that he has to depend on someone else. He's very independent, just like I'm very independent, and it is frustrating to have to depend on somebody when you're so used to being able to just go do things on your own. But we're working through that. I am still going to post what I ate week 10, and I can tell you that there's one meal that I don't have a picture for. I'm pretty sure I ate something, but I did not keep up with my food journal. Telling you, that week was crazy. I did not keep up with my food journal, and I didn't take enough pictures of all of my stuff, so I don't know for sure if I ate or if I didn't eat. I couldn't find a picture for it. I didn't journal it. I can't provide a picture. I can't even say that I ate because I really don't know. Anyway, you'll see what I ate at the end, what I could remember, what I took pictures of. I didn't eat great. I didn't eat horrible. I can tell you that I'm an emotional eater. I don't even know. Yeah, I'm an emotional eater. And when I get overly stressed or overwhelmed, sad, overly happy, whatever, I'm an emotional eater. I tend to drink a lot of sodas, which was one of the things I had narrowed down and gotten down to very little sodas a day, gotten down to either one mini one or just one soda period per day. Well, I can tell you all of week 10, I did not have hardly any water, and I drank sodas because that was my stress relief, and I've got to work on that. That's something that I have to work on for me. I did talk to my weight loss consultant. I told him everything that had taken place. He knew. I had texted him throughout the week because I had missed my week 9 appointment with him because week 9 I had a stomach flu and my husband had a stomach flu. And I didn't feel better. I didn't start feeling better till like Sunday night, Monday morning. And that's, you know, when everything took place and went all chaotic. But I talked to him and he just wants me. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry. I haven't cried this whole video. He just wants me to stay focused on my husband and myself and making sure that we're okay. And then just trying to get more water in and trying to get back to my motivation and get back to my routine. So he didn't have me working on anything specific this week. He just wants me to try to get back to the basics. And that's what I'm trying to do, is get back to the basics, get back to where I was. Because I'm not going to lie, my motivation has kind of gone. Because right now I have to focus on oh gosh, give me a second. Sorry, I got a little emotional. He just wants me to focus on me and my husband and making sure that things are getting better and that I can get back on track, which is my ultimate goal, is to get back on track and to not be so stressed as I am right now. But anyway, if you like my videos and you want to continue following me on my weight loss journey, sorry if you hear noises, he's walking around on his crutches. But if you want to continue following me on my weight loss journey, see how things are going up and down, and things like that, please go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel. You can also click the notification bell to get notified anytime I post new videos. Sorry, there was a really loud noise. I had to make sure everything was okay. Click the notification bell. You can get notified anytime we or I post a new video. If you saw, normally I post every Tuesday and Thursday. Last week I posted Thursday and Saturday. I think going forward I'm going to be posting, sorry, my hair's in my face. I'm going to be posting Thursday and Saturday just because of the way our schedule is intertwined right now. That's the only time I'm going to be able to have time to film, edit, and then get everything out. So it's just temporarily changing from Tuesdays and Thursdays to Thursdays and Saturdays. I'm hoping I get to go back to Tuesdays and Thursdays unless Thursdays and Saturdays just work out. But for right now, I'll be posting Thursdays and Saturdays, and then we'll see how things go and we'll go from there. Anyway, just stay tuned. I'll go over some of the foods that I had, and you can see what I ate, what I ate, what I didn't eat, what I drank, what I didn't drink, things like that. Anyway, I will see you next time. Thank you. Okay, so you're going to be able to see over the next few slides what I did eat, what I didn't eat. I did have a lot of sodas starting Monday. I drank mainly sodas and not enough water. I really wish that would have been different. Unfortunately, it wasn't. And that I believe is where my weight gain came from, because you do gain a lot of weight from sodas. Especially like what I've heard is if you drink one soda a day, you gain like 50 pounds at the end of the year. I don't know how true that is or isn't, but I do know sodas has a lot of calories, a lot of sugar, and even though I had gotten that down and under control that particular week with all the stress happening and everything going on, I fell backwards and that's what I had. And you can see I've had them on almost all of my breaks. That's what I had. And then I had them for a lot of my dinners as well too. So anyway, that's what I had. Trying to do better this week. Maybe things will go a little bit better starting tomorrow, because as of today, they still aren't going great. I'll see you next time. Bye.